Viewmasters, it's the podcast that we do. Viewmasters, talk about movies that we view. Viewmasters, my friend Eric and me, Joe. Viewmasters, hey, let's start the show.
Hello, welcome to the Viewmasters, episode 235. All cops are bastards. My name is Eric.
My name is Joe. Hello, Eric.
Hello, Joe.
All cops are bastards.
Yep.
Did you see the news story about the cop who was killed by a rooster wearing some sort of knife while breaking up an illegal cockfight?
What?
Yep. I want to say it was in China. But yeah, this cop was breaking up a cockfighting thing, and one of the roosters apparently had some sort of blade attached to it.
I think that is the standard for cockfighting.
Is it really?
I believe so, yes.
What the fuck?
Yeah, they're not just pecking at each other. They are strapped and ready to kill each other.
That is horrendous.
Yeah, that's why that's not really a great thing.
Yeah. Wait, cockfighting is not a great thing?
Yeah, sorry to break it to you.
What about when one of the cocks kills a police officer?
I mean,
Is it a net positive or just neutral outcome?
it's a push, yeah.
Oh man.
Oh boy. That's
amazing. All cops are bastards, the movie.
Yeah, it's kind of
yeah.
what happens here, yeah. We actually watched the trial of the Chicago 7. But that kind of a big point of the movie is what we've all learned here in the year 2020.
Yeah.
All cops are bastards.
Yeah. As they say on Battlestar Galactica, all this has happened before, and all this will happen again.
Yep. That second part is the really sad part.
It really is.
Yeah. Because we don't learn.
Yeah. Like Seattle just entered, I guess last night was the 150th straight night of demonstrations downtown.
Wow.
And like I saw a photo of a banner that was like it had like Seattle protests or BLM protests 150 days, Birmingham bus boycott 346 days. And it said we're just getting started. So, I mean, it's really a long haul thing if anything is actually going to change.
I think that's something that a lot of people aren't prepared for, is that unfortunately revolutions don't happen in a night.
Yeah.
The saddest part though is that I'll be honest with you, I didn't realize that Seattle was still having ongoing protests.
The only reason that I know is that I follow a couple of Twitter accounts that are just like, hey, there's protests going on here.
Well,
tonight or right now, and then they sort of, track what's happening and what's going on with police interactions with protesters and stuff. So,
wow.
So yeah, that I see very little coverage of it outside of like local NPR.
And you live adjacent.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm by no means downtown or anywhere near where the protests are taking place, but yeah, I mean, I live in the area. I'm down there pretty much every day now.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
People move on. Their attention spans are limited, unfortunately.
Yep. Like I know, like occasionally I'll see like Portland news. But that's pretty much all I ever see.
Yeah.
I don't know who I follow on Twitter that is invested in Portland, but
there's a lot of comics folks who live in the Portland area.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, I mean, like, I have no idea if any of that stuff is still going on in Dayton. I'm just going to assume no, because it's Dayton.
Right.
And,
Well, one weekend's good.
yeah, yep. Because sadly, there's a very big right-wing, leaning Nazi population in Dayton.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately.
I've weird sidebar. Been slowly working on my website, updating it here and there, and going back through all my old posts and artwork and stuff like that.
I know where this is going.
And I just ran across a drawing that I did back in the year 2013. Where I saw a dude with a swastika tattoo on his neck at UDF drinking a milkshake.
I thought it was at 7-Eleven.
We don't have 7-Elevens here.
Oh, that's right.
Have you been gone that long?
What was I thinking of? Maybe I was thinking of Circle K. I've been gone forever. I haven't been back in over a year.
That is true. Wow.
Anyway.
Yeah. So, cheery subjects. Leading into this cheery movie.
It's a laugh riot. Just a family fare here.
Yeah. I'll put this aside real quick. And there were parts where I did laugh.
Yeah, me too.
There were some humorous moments.
Yeah.
So Trial of the Chicago 7.
Yeah, written and directed by Aaron Sorkin.
Your best friend.
He's my buddy. I don't know after this movie.
Spoiler?
maybe a little spoiler.
Okay, all right.
We'll talk about it.
All right.
So I know last week you said that this was you'd never seen an Aaron Sorkin thing before.
Yeah.
And then later on you texted me to tell me that you are a liar.
That is true. So after our conversation, I was just curious and looked on his IMDb, and turns out that I have seen something that he made. I watched quite a few episodes of Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip.
Was that when you were working at the TV station?
Nope.
No, all right.
Nope.
Was that because you were a big D.L. Hughley fan?
I think we all know that I do have a shrine to D.L. Hughley in my house.
I wouldn't call it a shrine. That makes it sound weird.
No, I caught the first episode just by happenstance or whatever, and there's a scene in it where Judd Hirsch loses his mind on national TV. And for whatever reason, that just really appealed to me, and I just kept watching it for a while.
Nice.
But, can't say that it was a good show.
Yeah, I feel like Studio 60 is a show, like, the pilot is spectacular.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the show never quite lives up to what it set up.
I definitely agree about that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Judd Hirsch isn't in, I don't think, any other episodes than just the pilot.
Yeah, I think he maybe shows up briefly in, like, another episode elsewhere. But, yeah he is, and he's really not that, he's, like, the catalyst for the pilot to go.
Right.
But, he's not really a big part of the show at all.
Yeah. It did make me. I don't think I'd seen Network at that point. So watching the pilot for that and the multiple references to Network made me want to watch that movie, and I did watch that movie afterwards, and it was pretty good.
All right, I've still never seen it, so
it's worth the time.
All right. I mean, I know the big scene, especially the one that pilot references.
Right.
But yeah, all right, I'll give it a shot sometime.
It's a very dark satire.
All right.
I was not prepared for how dark it is.
Okay. I get dark.
I know. So yeah, I would say Studio 60 was definitely lower tier Sorkin in my mind than like The West Wing or Sports Night.
Right. I think the problem with that is that it's a drama that is about a comedy.
Right. And when it tried to do comedy, it wasn't funny.
Nope, not at all. But a lot of it really hinged on it trying to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And in the world of the show, the comedy that it did was hilarious. But in the real world, it was not so much.
Nope.
Can you imagine an SNL crowd uproariously laughing at a Gilbert and Sullivan parody?
Well, yes, I can, but it's because I don't have much of a higher opinion of SNL.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a Mad TV crowd?
Now we're talking my language.
Oh boy. So yeah, the trial of the Chicago 7.
Yes. So, in addition to the Aaron Sorkin of it all, I mentioned last week that one of my favorite podcasts, The Dollop, happened to be doing it turned out to be a 3-part episode about the life of Abby Hoffman.
Oh, wow.
With part 2 of it mostly focusing about the trial.
Okay.
Which I had listened to before watching the movie. So, I had that going into the movie.
Right.
But I also have, bad memory and low retention skills. So, it's an hour and a half podcast. I mean, 3 episodes totaling about, over 4 hours at least.
Yeah.
There's a lot of information that went into my head that also immediately left.
Yeah, I feel like my problem with the Dollop, other than it became a everything sucks all the time podcast,
Sure.
is that I tended to tune out during it, so I would miss important things.
Yeah, that happens.
Which is, you sort of got to pay attention to podcasts that are just a guy reading a story.
Yeah. So, but, I retained a little bit. And so in the back of my head while I was watching this movie, some of that stuff, it was triggered some memories for me here and there.
Sure. I knew nothing about this story going in.
Okay, well.
So.
Neat.
Yeah. So what'd you think of it?
Setting aside facts, I thought this was a pretty entertaining movie.
All right.
I was invested. I enjoyed what it was.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I enjoyed most of it. I despise the ending.
Oh, the ending is fucking terrible.
It's just the most Hallmark bullshit. Oh god, I hated it so much.
Nope, it is.
It made me laugh.
It is absolutely awful. And completely counter to what actually happened.
Right, yeah, especially after I read what the actual ending of the trial was like.
Right.
I was like, oh man, did he really do that? No, he didn't do that at all.
Nope.
And just So like, and oh man, the character, the prosecutor, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, like how he has like this very ill-defined crisis of conscience throughout the whole thing, and then at the end is like, I'm gonna stand in solidarity with these guys.
Right.
Like, was just the most telegraphed, lazy. Oh god, made me so mad.
No. So I think I've mentioned before that I'm a fan of a JGL.
Yes. Yeah. No. I love JGL.
And I've lamented that there's sort of disappeared for a little bit, or at least just took a very low profile for a while.
Yeah.
So I was very happy to see that he was in this movie, and then he played a nothing.
Yeah, basically, he's sort of wasted.
Yep.
And maybe part of it is just that there are so many characters.
There are
on the defense side.
It is called the Chicago 7.
Right.
He is not among those 7.
Nor is he the extra member.
Nope.
Of the Chicago 7.
And also, there's 2 other guys in the 7, in the actual 7, who are barely characters either.
Right. I did enjoy when they were like, "What are we even doing here?"
Yeah.
And then we see very little of them throughout the rest of the movie.
It was a meta commentary.
Yeah.
Which, if I recall correctly, those 2 are like the actual. They were like actually militant radicals.
Oh, really?
Who wanted violence and uprising and action.
And they're the ones who were acquitted completely.
Yep.
What the fuck, America? Oh, good lord.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I will say I am a sucker for a courtroom drama.
Sure, we know this about you.
We do know this about me, yeah. So I did really enjoy those aspects of the movie, which is a lot of it, obviously, because it's called The Trial,
right,
etc., etc.
You say that, but I'm going to be honest. I was shocked that within 10 minutes we were in court already.
It's true, yeah. The way that it unfolds was really interesting.
Yeah,
because we don't really get the whole story about what actually led to the riot until maybe 15 minutes before the end.
Yeah.
So that was cool. It had me hooked on just finding out what exactly happened.
Right. Yeah, I think structurally it was very intriguing the way it played out. Because again, my retention, for facts fell to the wayside. So even I was like, "What happened? How'd they get there?"
Mm-hmm.
Even though I had just listened to how they got there.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm glad that it wasn't all just straightforward. This is the trial as it happened.
Yeah.
But I was honestly surprised that we get to the trial very, very quickly, and it is 90% of the movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, maybe 80. Whatever.
I mean, are we going to quibble over Your Honor? Come on.
We might.
Over what percentage of the movie is actually in the courtroom? Oh, man. Yeah, so the cast is spectacular.
Yes, it is.
Just loaded with good people.
Surprise Michael Keaton.
Yes, surprise Michael Keaton was a delight.
Yeah, he always is.
Yeah. I generally find Eddie Redmayne to be off-putting, but I didn't hate him in this movie.
This might be the first thing I have ever seen him in.
Really?
Yeah.
Not Jupiter Ascending?
Nope.
Not Les Miserables?
Nope.
Not The Theory of Everything?
Nope.
Not The Danish Girl? I'm done.
Okay. Yeah. Also, nope.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that one either.
Yeah. In fact, the only movie I could say that he was actually in, and again, haven't seen it, was the Fantastic Beasts movie.
Oh, right, yeah. I have blocked both of those out of my brain.
Yeah. I still always think about Fantastic Beats and where to drop them.
the rhymes of Grindelwald. Oh, man. By that notorious turf, J.K. Rowling. But yeah, I enjoyed him in this movie.
Yeah, I still found him off-putting. Even though
I feel like part of that's by design.
Okay.
A little bit.
Yeah, I guess so.
He is, I think, presented as the least, like, just of the seven, sort of the least, I don't know, interesting, I guess, until towards the end.
Yeah. He definitely is the most, like, out of the seven that we meet, he is the guy that I would assume would just become, the, conservative establishment dude. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I was surprised to read afterward that Jerry Rubin became like a stockbroker.
Oh yeah, no.
I would have expected that for Tom Hayden.
Right. Yeah, Jerry Rubin was the guy who he was Abby Hoffman's friend and partner in the Yippies. And yeah, in the 70s, I believe, he became a businessman. He became the man.
Right. He was great, though. Jeremy Strong. I love Jeremy Strong, so I was glad to see him in this movie.
Another actor, I have no idea who that is.
You should watch Succession.
Okay.
It is very good.
Alrighty.
And Jeremy Strong is one of the leads on that show.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'd never heard of him. Yeah, I'll be honest. There's like 4 actors in this movie that I've actually ever heard of.
Yeah? All right, let's name them.
All right, we got Sacha Baron Cohen.
All right.
We got Frank Langella and his sexy, sexy body.
Oh, yeah.
We got a JGL. And John Carroll Lynch.
Yes.
And then Michael Keaton.
Not Eddie Redmayne?
I mean, I'd heard of him, I guess, but again,
okay.
haven't seen him in anything other than this. And he kept reminding me of just a weirder James Marsden.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. Like, if James Marsden wasn't handsome...
Yeah.
He would be Eddie Redmayne.
Just, yeah, rough him up a little bit, and then you have Eddie Redmayne, yeah.
John Carroll Lynch was a welcome surprise as well. I did not realize he was in this movie.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed his character. Not that he had a ton of screen time or development, but I just sort of liked, his role amongst the 7, I guess.
Yeah. I had just rewatched Zodiac over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So John Carroll Lynch was fresh in my mind.
Gotcha.
So,
and of course he directed the movie that we watched a few weeks ago, Lucky.
Right.
Yeah. And I had just watched Borat's subsequent movie film over the weekend.
Yeah, this is actually the 3rd Sacha Baron Cohen movie that I've watched in a week. The other 2 were the original Borat, which I'd never seen, and then the sequel.
I had seen the first Borat in the theater.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
Yeah, my wife.
High five.
And then, so I watched the sequel this weekend as well. Even though,
What'd you think of that? What did you think of it?
I liked it. It was surprisingly very sweet.
It was very sweet, yeah. I think watching the original and the sequel back to back, which is what we did like in the same evening, I think it like the original is much stronger.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
But my viewing of the second one may have been tinged a little bit by the fact that I just watched the superior original. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and
it is very enjoyable.
Laughed quite a bit.
I think part of the problem with the sequel is that, and they even address it in the sequel, is that people know who Borat is.
Right.
Whereas in the first one, he was, not as well known.
Yeah.
And they were able to get away with much more stuff. So, 90% of the sequel is him running around in a costume on top of a costume.
Right. Which is brilliant.
Sure.
Yeah, I think introducing his daughter was a good way to get around that, too.
Oh, absolutely, for sure.
And she was fantastic.
Yeah, she steals the show, for sure.
Yeah.
And despite the fact that the entire world ruined the ending of it before it ever came out, it was still very good.
Yeah.
And, no matter what, Rudy Giuliani is just a pervy, sweaty fucking creep.
I do think he was just tucking his shirt back in, but he is still all of those things, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think an argument can be made either or for that situation, but everything leading up to it, just not great.
Yeah, like he didn't need to ask for her phone number and email address.
Nope, not at all.
Didn't need to go in the bedroom with her.
Nope. Or
shouldn't have been drinking. Her. Yeah, keep touching her. Yikes.
Yep. And he was very COVID-y.
He was, yeah. I love the way that they incorporated COVID into the movie. That was so smart.
It really was. I was a little shocked that was even a plot point in the movie.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it was very enjoyable. All right, well, good night. We reviewed Borat.
Yep.
See you next time.
My review, very nice. To a thumb up.
From you and your wife.
Yes. Speaking of my wife.
Yes.
She watched the Trial of the Chicago 7 with me as well.
Ooh.
And during the closing credits, it showed like all of the actors.
Yeah.
There was a screen that came up that had the two female characters in the movie on it. And she was like, "Wait, there are women in this?" Which is extremely accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she and I sort of had a discussion about that afterwards. I told her I wish she could be on the podcast to talk about it, but she still sort of can't talk.
Yeah.
I posed the question of like, which is better, lack of female characters or the presence of female characters who are written poorly? Because Aaron Sorkin has some issues with the way that he writes women.
Okay.
Just sort of, there's always a lot of mansplaining to them, and a lot of it seems like he doesn't respect the female characters that he writes, or just writes them sort of dumb sometimes unnecessarily.
Gotcha.
Even when they're supposed to be extremely smart people.
Right.
I think where where she landed was that maybe Aaron Sorkin should just be done for a little while. and like, this is, based on a true story.
Right.
So, probably, all of the defendants were men.
Yes. All the lawyers. Yeah.
All of the lawyers were men, and there were even fewer lawyers in the movie than there were in real life.
Right.
But like, they took liberties with things. Obviously, the ending is a complete fabrication of what actually happens. Characters are consolidated and made up whole cloth, like Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character. So why couldn't they? Couldn't they have made some of the characters women or added more female characters? Period.
Just to counter real quick, Richard Schultz was a real person.
Oh, was he a real person? Okay.
Yeah, he was indeed the prosecutor.
I thought he was made up. All right, my fault.
Nope. But I don't believe he had the implied conscience that was presented as the character in the movie.
Yeah.
I think he was pretty much just on the same side as the judge and Nixon and all them.
Okay.
We're gonna put these people away.
Gotcha.
And I guess in real life, his whole thing was that he was just trying to get them all on the fact that, especially Abby Hoffman, that they like to swear, and he did not, and he thought that was pretty much representative of why they should just go to jail.
Oh my god. So, I mean, for all intents and purposes, name aside, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character was made up completely whole cloth.
Yeah.
Didn't like that they swear.
Yeah. All right, that's fair.
Oh my god.
But no, I mean, yeah, you're right. Also, shit. I don't want to say, the time period.
No, I know, but I mean, absolutely. Like when the jury came in,
right.
I had the thought, like, oh, I wonder if women were allowed to be on juries at this point, and they were.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's very much definitely.
I mean, we got to see juror number 6,
right? She was reading the right book, so she's probably smart.
Right. The only two, at least in the credits or list that they show, are the undercover FBI agents, who I think her name is Daphne, who is presented as duplicitous and underhanded,
right?
And then nameless secretary.
Yeah, I don't remember if she had a name or not.
Yeah. Who was probably Tom Hayden's girlfriend?
I guess.
I don't know.
Who knows? She's given no development, so no one knows.
That's true. She's just answering phones. Conspiracy headquarters.
She talks about having sex with a black guy at one point.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because that's what women are there for.
Yep.
I did. Caitlin Fitzgerald played the undercover FBI agent, and I do enjoy seeing her in things.
Another person I've never seen or heard of before.
She was on Masters of Sex.
Okay.
Which was a pretty good show for a couple seasons, and then I stopped watching because we didn't have the channel it was on anymore.
Alrighty.
But yeah, I enjoy her, so
okay.
It was nice to see her.
Well,
but yeah, she doesn't really have much to do.
No. Fuck. I totally lost what I was going to say.
Okay. I thought Sacha Baron Cohen was really good as Abby Hoffman.
Yeah, he was. I again don't know much about the actual person other than what I've just listened to on the dollop.
Right.
I do know that after this trial, his life kind of went to hell.
Yeah, I read a little bit about what happened after the trial too, and yeah, it didn't sound great.
No. But I thought so you didn't listen to any of the Three Dollops or anything, did you?
I did not. No,
Okay.
I didn't have a chance.
So in the first part, at the end of it, Dave Anthony goes off on a rant about why Aaron Sorkin should not be the person in charge of a movie about this story.
Right.
Particularly, Abby Hoffman. But, I would say that it was mostly fair.
Yeah.
I mean, like you point out, the ending and the fabrication of it all, and JGL's character and all that, which I guess you could, ascribe to poetic license.
Right.
I don't think that it was, and there's definitely some, emotional manipulation, I guess.
Yeah, I think that was my main problem with the ending, is that it's just so manipulative.
Right. And
just like the swell of the music.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a total bullshit ending.
Oh my god.
But, it's also a 2-hour version of a 6-month event that happened in real life.
That's true.
If not longer. So, obviously there's not going to be, a total factual representation. And I thought, for the most part, the movie played it fair.
Yeah, I don't feel like it was unfair to any of the characters. I did see some people online talking about how the scene where Dave Dellinger, John Carroll Lynch's character, punches one of the security guards was upsetting, because he was like an avowed pacifist and would never do anything like that, and it didn't. From my reading about it, I didn't see anything that indicated that he did actually do that.
Right.
So, you could have an objection to that, though, again, for dramatic purposes, it did work,
right,
I think, pretty well within the context of the scene and what was going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, I didn't have any, other than I had storytelling issues with it, not so much issues with the way that the story was, or with the way the characters were presented.
Right. I do know that, the Bobby Seale of it all.
Yes. Oh, Jesus. I can't believe we haven't talked about Bobby Seale yet.
Yeah. So, I don't know that actor's name. I do know that he played Black Manta in the Aquaman movie.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
I believe he also, was he on Watchmen?
Yes, he was.
He was Cal.
Yes, he was the husband to. Crap! I can't remember the character's name.
Angela Abar.
Yeah, that's it.
Regina King.
Yep. She
I got
played, yeah. And that's all you need to know. He was good in that.
Yeah. Wow, you got out of there quick.
Yep. Going down that hole there.
I do sort of wish that, I feel like the way that his story was presented was fairly basic.
In this movie?
We don't. What's that?
In this movie or Watchmen?
In this movie, not in Watchmen.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The way that Bobby Seale's story was presented was very bare bones.
It was super bare bones, and I've again, 6 months condensed down to 2 hours.
Right.
So the scene where he gets beaten and tied up to a chair in the courtroom. In real life, that happened multiple days in a row.
Right.
Whereas it is presented as it happens and it's over within minutes.
Yeah.
And then he is released from the trial. But yeah, so, and I guess again, it's a matter of condensing and poetic license. But I mean, I guess the movie does the bare minimum it can to present the judge as the super racist that he was.
Yeah, I feel like it comes across pretty well.
Yeah.
that he's super racist. Even though no one has ever accused him of being racist in his 35 years on the bench or whatever.
Yeah, because people who aren't racist, they don't get told that all the time.
Right. He has black friends, probably, maybe.
Sure, some of his best friends, probably.
Yeah.
Speaking of the judge, another thing that they don't really present is that he was a close personal friend of Mayor John Daly at the time.
Oh, really?
And pretty much asked to have this case, and pretty much already made up his mind how he was going to rule no matter what.
I mean, that sort of comes across
without
being said.
Yeah. I think they play the senile old man card a little bit too much.
Yeah, I can see that with the getting people's names wrong and forgetting things, and yeah.
But, other than, I think, a few instances where it felt like Frank Langella and the actors who played the lawyers kind of dip into, like, weird southern drawls when they're arguing with each other in the courtroom.
Yeah.
I thought they were great otherwise.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I feel like the Bobby Seale aspect and the Black Panthers in general sort of deserve their own movie, telling their side of the story about what happens during this trial.
Absolutely, because I mean, we see Bobby Seale in the opening sequence pre the trial,
right?
And then pre the riots and everything, and then we see him during the trial. But I don't think we ever actually see what he did while he was in Chicago. Yeah. Because it was completely disconnected from the riot and everything else that was happening.
Right.
But it would have been interesting to see a little bit more of what he was doing, and then
some of his
why
speech.
He was brought in. Yeah, some of his speech. Yeah, and then his arrest even would have been interesting.
Right. Especially since it is. I mean, we never there are a couple flashbacks to the riots and how they start, and the interactions that the 7 have with the police. Well, 5 of them, anyway. Right. Because again, the other 2 guys
barely there.
Yep.
They were in the room at the time, basically.
But yeah, none of those flashbacks do we ever see anything from the Black Panther side of what happens. Which I have to imagine is endlessly fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely. I really wanted to know more about it.
Yeah. But then, also we've got, Fred Hampton as a background character, who also has just an amazing life story, who was also just brutally murdered by cops.
Yeah.
Which they touch on a little bit. I think he deserves his own movie too.
Right.
But again, 2 hours.
Yeah.
So there's a lot happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just in talking about it and all of the gaps in the story, and just wanting to know more about the characters. I guess it's a good springboard. Yeah. For I want to know more about this person, and then go to Google or get a book or whatever. But it's about basically a snapshot of these people's lives.
Right. And I think, like I said, I enjoyed the movie, and it is a little over 2 hours, and I never fell asleep.
Yay!
I was riveted.
Yeah, it held my attention really well, and like it is a little bit over 2 hours, but I feel like it just flew by for me.
Yeah. But I guess my fear about it is though that people will watch it and just assume that everything is as is,
Mm-hmm.
even the absolute bullshit ending.
Yeah, I feel like that's a problem with any biopic or any movie that's based on a true story. Is you get people who just believe whatever they see and don't do any additional research.
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Like I know. So we've been talking about it, but so the actual ending of this movie,
yes,
features the judges sentencing 5 of the 7. And he allows Eddie Redmayne's character, Tom Hayden, to give a statement to the court before the sentencing. And basically tells them that as long as he's a good boy, maybe then, he'll be lenient on them.
Right.
And then, Tom Hayden fully realizing just, exactly what it means for them to be on trial and what they represent by being there, decides that he is not going to play ball. And instead, he is going to read a list of the American soldiers who have died in Vietnam, the whole reason that they are even there.
Right. The soldiers who have died in Vietnam since the trial began.
Yeah.
Something, it was like 3,000 some names.
Yep. And then, as you've said, the music swells and everybody starts standing and clapping and cheering, and Frank Langella loses his sexy, sexy mind. And then we get like the Animal House sort of wrap up about what happens with their lives afterwards.
Right.
So in real life, it was David Dellinger, the John Carroll Lynch character, who reads the names of the dead soldiers. But he actually started reading the names of the dead Viet Cong who had died. Wow. Yes. And they had a Vietnamese and an American flag draped over their table as he started doing it.
Wow.
And it pretty much got shut down almost immediately. And the court officers took away the Vietnamese flag but left the American flag.
Of course.
Yeah. So that's what really happened when they did that. And it happened much earlier in the trial.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And so, it was not the rousing moments of patriotism and togetherness that the movie pretends that it is.
There's a moment at the very end of A Few Good Men where Tom Cruise's character, who's been representing these two guys, these two Marines who are on trial for murder or for manslaughter or whatever. He's been, arguing with them sort of off and on. They're reluctant to have him there because they don't see him as a real Marine officer or whatever. And then at the end of the movie, one of them, like as he's exiting the courtroom, and it's like only he and Tom Cruise are in the courtroom when this happens, and he shouts like, "10 Hut, there's an officer on deck," and he salutes. And it's just the most just no. And this reminded me a lot of that. Like, ugh.
Yeah. It is the only type of thing that ever happens in a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it
exactly.
never happens in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the slow clap in Lucas at the end of Lucas.
Right.
Like, it looks great on paper.
Sure.
And it probably, like, in your head when you're writing it down, you're like, oh man, yeah, this is gonna get him.
Yeah.
But then it just falls completely flat and is so awkward.
I think that just defines slow clap.
Yeah, definitely.
It will never happen in real life, and when it does, I think it usually fails.
Yeah. Like, somebody tries to start it and then everyone just looks at them like, what are you doing?
Yep.
But yeah, other than the ending, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a good movie, I think.
Yeah, it's
a good fictionalized version of this story.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not as good as other Sorkin things that I've seen. It's probably on the lower end, but I still enjoyed it.
And if you listen to Dave Anthony, it's an abomination because it's not as far left as it should be.
Right.
Because Abby Hoffman was a social communist and not a liberal, whereas Aaron Sorkin is just a liberal.
Right.
Yeah.
God dang.
Yep. And you know what? I think it shows. Aaron Sorkin is definitely a white male who writes white male stuff.
100%.
Yeah.
I, as big a fan as I am, I totally recognize his shortcomings.
Yeah.
There are many of them. And yeah, part of it is just the perspective from which he comes at things.
Yeah. And again, I know I'm not here to defend or espouse Dave Anthony, but
no, that's okay.
I know he's got a whole other podcast dedicated to just poking holes at West Wing.
Right.
And I've never listened to his show because I've never seen The West Wing, and I'm probably not going to do either.
Yeah.
But his whole thing seems to be that the show went on to influence actual politicians, which he feels is a bit crazy.
Okay.
That people would basically pattern their lives on a TV show.
That's fair.
But all coming from, again, that one white male perspective.
Yeah. No, I can totally see that.
And he's just very, he's just very left.
Yeah. I think the important thing to keep in mind about The West Wing is that it is pure fantasy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
I think that's essentially what he's trying to say. It is pure fantasy, and that there are real people who have taken it to heart.
Gotcha.
I
mean, it's still, I feel like it's okay to be inspired by fantasy.
Sure,
I guess it just depends on how far you take it.
Yeah, I mean, I like Wolverine, but I'm not going around slashing people with claws.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Wait, do you have Wolverine claws?
Shit, I wasn't supposed to say.
We'll take this offline.
All right.
Oh man. So what's going on? Anything going on this week that's bringing you joy?
You know what? Yeah, I was going to read a comic and hopefully pick that as the thing that brought me joy, but I just didn't have the chance or the time to do so.
Yeah.
But I am very excited to read Dracula Motherfucker.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited to read that, too.
By Alex DeCampi and Erica Henderson. Just got that last week. So looking forward to that. But the thing that I think brought me the most joy this week is the return of Freedom.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was back. My my podcast feed hadn't updated because I think I was still using the bad Stitcher Premium URL, so I fixed that. I have 2 episodes to listen to now.
Okay, because there were 5 when I checked it Friday.
Holy shit! Seriously?
Yeah, like because when I'm at my weekend job, I get to listen to podcasts a little bit, and so I've got the shows I listen to on Stitcher, and pulled the Stitcher up, and it's had a new Freedom, and I was super excited, and then I started listening to it, and they made a reference to it being the 5th episode.
Oh wow!
So I went back through the feed, and they dropped 5 episodes in a day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, I updated with just the regular iTunes feed, so I wonder if I do the Stitcher thing again, if I'll get all those extra ones.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes, that's awesome.
So I was very excited and pleasantly happy to listen to all those over the weekend.
I love that show so much.
Me too. Just 2 guys who talk on a podcast recommending better podcasts about people talking.
Yeah. Basically. It's a meta podcast.
Yeah. But yeah, so that brought me some joy.
That's excellent.
What about you, sir?
Probably the thing that is making me happiest is that, and I posted a picture on the internet, but after 10 months of being in this apartment, I've finally started to put together a condensed version of my Flash museum.
All right.
Which I had in our house in Ohio. Basically just a display for original art and statues featuring the Flash. So that's making me pretty happy. It's nice to get stuff up on the wall again.
I totally get that.
Yeah, I had to go out and get more frames today, so I can put some more stuff up.
Nice.
But yeah, it's I don't know. Part of it is just nice. It's nice to have stuff out where I can see it again, and the other part of it is just I enjoy organizing. So it's sort of killing 2 birds.
I get it. When I moved into this house last year, I got to hang up pictures for the first time in 20 some years.
Oh wow.
I had a few hanging up, posters and stuff at my old apartment, but there wasn't too much that I could really do. But now I've got this house, and there's a lot of wall space. And so within my first month, I started hanging up just posters and original art, what little original art I own. Most of it is, from my friends.
Yeah.
But still, it's nice to have them up and be able to look at them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you have some pretty great Flash pieces.
Yeah, I've started scanning as much as I can. I haven't scanned anything from my sketchbook yet because I'm trying to figure out how to do it without totally ruining the binding on the book. But I have scanned a bunch of loose pieces and started a comic art fans page.
Awesome.
So that's on the internet for posterity, I guess.
Excellent. I'll have to check that out. I know I've seen a lot of it, but I'm sure there's tons I haven't.
Probably, yeah.
That just makes me even more excited that maybe someday my Flash sketch in your sketchbook will be up on Comic Art Fans.
You already have one on Comic Art Fans in one of my galleries.
Really?
Yeah, the Flash and Doctor Who sketch cover that you did for me.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, I scanned basically everything that was smaller than 11 by 17 and
Sure.
loose or able to easily get on my scanner.
Nice.
So that was among them.
I just saw that again today for the first time in quite a while.
Nice. I still love that. It's such a great cover.
It made me smile when I saw it. I was like, oh yeah, I remember drawing that. But still, nothing will beat what I've drawn in your sketchbook.
Nothing ever will.
Nope.
Honestly, my favorite thing about it is when other people are flipping through my sketchbook and they come across it. like professional artists at cons.
I've not been there with you when that has happened, but I just imagine it and it makes me happy.
It's great.
Every time you've shown me the new sketchers or whatever, I'm just like, Dave Johnson saw my flash in there.
I remember Barry Kitson made the best face. Oh, okay.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
It's about exposure.
Yep. All right. Well, should I pick a movie?
Yeah. What do you have in mind?
All right. So I'm thinking I'm gonna pick a superhero movie that I haven't actually seen yet.
Okay.
I would like to watch Captain Fantastic with Viggo Mortensen.
Nice. I haven't seen that either.
All right.
Is it a superhero movie?
No.
I have no idea, honestly.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
Okay.
But it's called Captain Fantastic, so that was my joke.
Oh, it was a joke. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Do you want to take that again?
Okay.
Okay.
So the movie I'm going to pick is a superhero movie that I haven't seen yet.
Oh,
it's
really?
called
Okay.
Captain Fantastic.
I get it, because it's not a superhero movie.
Right, yeah. I think this movie is on Hulu. If not, it is definitely on Hoopla.
Okay.
Or Canopy.
I know I've seen it in a few different places. So
Yeah.
I'm sure it's out there somewhere, and if not, I can probably get it from the library.
Yeah. When I looked it up to make sure that it wasn't expiring anywhere, I believe it said it was on. It's either on Hoopla or Canopy for sure, and possibly on Hulu. So
Gotcha.
any of those three places, if the listener wants to watch along with us.
Yeah.
The fictional listener.
Just like Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character in The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Oh boy.
All right. Captain Fantastic.
So, yep. That's it. That's the one.
All right. We'll talk about that next week.
Good evening, then.
Good night.
Thank you for listening to The Viewmasters. You can subscribe to the show directly at view.guttertrash.net or at iTunes and leave us a review. Visit view.guttertrash.net for email information and links to Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you next time on The Viewmasters.